Welcome back everyone. Here I am with another flight experience and this time on one of India's most controversial airlines, SpiceJet. Now, to be fair, this flight report isn't really a review of SpiceJet because although I booked with SpiceJet, this flight was operated by a well-known European player, Corendon. I had been in Chennai after landing from my previous flight, and after I decided that I had my fair share of Chennai's heat, I decided to run back to the airport way before time. The metro in Chennai is a blessing for flyers because it's a swift way to get from the airport to the city center and back. Apart from lacking cleanliness, the metro was otherwise really nice. It shot me straight at Chennai's airport, and after a quite long walk from the station, I entered Terminal 1 used by SpiceJet for its domestic operations. My flight was scheduled to depart at 8:40 p.m. in the night, but I got checked in at 4 p.m. since I thought I'd just sit in the lounge and chill. Sadly, the lounge didn't permit passengers to enter before 2 hours to departure, and I had to kill my time sitting around the terminal and charging my devices. Once inside, the lounge was pretty decent and gave some really nice food options. I even met a very sweet Maharashtrian family who asked me about my cameras and recording instruments and wished me luck on my vlogging journey. After I had stuffed myself to the extent that I wouldn't need any food in the aircraft because I wasn't going to get any food in the aircraft, I moved to the boarding gate. Boarding, of course, was delayed due to the traffic at Mumbai airport. As we got on board the aircraft, we were met with the crew standing at the gate who couldn't be less bothered to greet or welcome passengers. Further inside, another crew member stood making faces and frowning at passengers as they boarded. Although the aircraft was a Boeing 737 next generation, it sported a basic Boeing Sky interior. As you watch me explore the seat, let me tell you some things that left me shocked. The crew couldn't get the passengers to board because apparently neither they spoke in Hindi nor did they speak English in an Indian accent. Not only was the crew unable to get the boarding done quickly, but they also got frustrated very soon. The crew was yelling at passengers and lifting and stowing the luggage on their own.
Thank you for your understanding.
I don't know how this works in Europe, but that's a big no-no in India. After they finally managed to get everybody on board, they began with the safety announcements in a British accent English.
Mobile phones may be used in flight mode during cruise level. Now please bring your mobile phone to flight mode and switch it off. Phones that do not have flight mode should be kept off during the flight. Please store your large electronic devices and all other hand luggage under the seat in front of you or in
Boeing 737 standard aircraft. Our estimated flight time to Mumbai airport around 2 hours at an altitude of 37,000 feet.
The cabin head, who was probably Bulgarian, was very unclear while the Portuguese captain was completely inaudible. It was fun listening to the old 737 engines firing up, since now in India these birds are a rare find, with most airlines either using A320neos or 737 Maxes. After the takeoff from Chennai, I felt very hot and thirsty. When I asked the Spanish flight attendant to turn on the AC, she gave me a weird expression and acted as if I didn't have the right to feel hot. Do you notice how the Boeing sky interior makes use of rounder windows as compared to the more rectangular windows on their previous interiors? They say it helps in reducing jet lag. Speaking of jet lag, like almost on all Boeing 737 flights, my head started giving me a terrible pain, and I felt like my ears and nose would start bleeding. After a quick conversation with the crew, I also learned the crew on today's flight was from Spain, Romania, Bulgaria, and Portugal, and this aircraft itself was registered in Malta. While serving the passengers, the crew was speaking to each other very loudly in their local language, probably Romanian, but I'm not sure. That is again something I've never seen happening on board Indian Airlines.
Seat, fasten your seatbelt, make sure your seat is in an upright position, your tray table is closed and your window shade is opened. Please assist your children with their seatbelts. For safety reasons, stow away your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. All electronic devices should remain switched off until the aircraft has reached its parking position.
Speaking of the landing, the pilots flared the aircraft on the runway pretty far along. For a moment, I thought we were going to either do a go-around or hit the fence. Nonetheless, we did land safely, but you can notice how we're turning from the end of the runway as again somewhere way before the end of the runway. While this was a very interesting flight, I'm not going to lie, I felt the crew was very racist and disrespectful. I saw them shrugging and making faces at each other, looking at passengers rather than helping them out. I knew that SpiceJet had been leasing aircrafts like many other Indian airlines, but flying on a wet leased aircraft was something really new for me. For those unacquainted, let me quickly explain what is leasing and what are the different types of leasing in the aviation industry. When airlines expect high demand due to seasons, festivals or other reasons and cannot afford to buy planes, they simply lease or in simpler terms rent out aircraft from other companies. The company that receives the aircraft is called the lessee, while the company that gives the aircraft is called the lessor.
Hope to see you again on another flight. Thank you for choosing SpiceJet and goodbye. Gentlemen, please remain seated. The aircraft has not reached its park position. Thank you. Please sit down, sir. Thank you.
In aviation, there are broadly three types of leasings: dry, damp, and wet. In dry leasing, the lessor only provides the aircraft, while the lessee uses its own cockpit crew and cabin crew. In damp leasing, the lessor provides the aircraft and the cockpit crew, while the rest is managed by the lessee. While in wet leasing, everything is provided by the lessor. Since Corendon wet leases aircraft to SpiceJet, they not only provide the aircraft but also the cabin and cockpit crews. I couldn't shoot a lot of footage of the arrival since I had been flying for the past 36 hours and by now I pretty much just wanted to fall on my bed and doze off. Will I fly SpiceJet again? Definitely not on its flights being served by Corendon, but I really want to give the real SpiceJet a try to compare between both of them. I hope you find this journey interesting. Stay tuned for more such videos. Until next time.